All right, guys, we got another nice big box here from Heritage. There's some really cool stuff in here, so stick around, see what we got.
John's got a mission to save the day. With comics in his hands, he leads the way. Cleaning and
all right, guys, so as always, still giving away the Incredible Hulk 181 facsimile cover. This is the foil version in 9.8. All you gotta do is leave a comment below, be a subscriber, and you're entered for a chance to win that. Let's get into this box. So this is all Heritage. These are like, I want to say there's 5 lots in here. There might be 4. One of them I would have never normally bid on. I just happened to see it, and it is super cool. At least I think it is. It's right on top too, so we're gonna go through this right off the bat. So this is from the 70s. Some people who were alive then will remember these well. Some people not so much. You might not know a lot about these, but I thought they were cool. They were cool when I was a kid, and I saw them occasionally in the stores, but we'll pull them out of here and we'll just go through them one by one. So these are record books that tell the story. What's nice about these is right there, signed by Neal Adams. He did the cover of this. This one does not have the record. This is another one, Batman. Book and record, again, also signed by Neal Adams right there. This one does have the record. See there, little 45. That's how fast it went, 45 revolutions per minute. So pretty cool. I believe that the book actually was like on the record. So if you played the record, it would play like you could read along with it. These were for reading. So it would, like, you could, you know, for kids to learn how to read, they could put the record on, read the book, let the record play, and kind of help them with words and reading. So really cool that it's signed by Neal Adams. Rich is gonna like this next one. This is Conan the Barbarian, again, signed by Neal Adams. Does have the record in there. You know, they're not in great shape. These are like a hard cardstock book, but they're not horrible. You know, if they were graded, I'd say they'd probably come in around the 6.0 range. And then the last one of the group of these 45s is Star Trek. Again, you got the Neal Adams signature right there. Neal Adams got a pretty easy to recognize signature, but again, this one also has the record. You know, I wish I had a record player just so I could put them on and listen to them, but those are really cool. Really thought it was I got a great deal on it. I'm surprised. I actually thought I would be outbid. And I'm guessing just no one recognized. They saw records like, I'm not interested. They didn't realize they were all signed by Neal Adams, because obviously that's going to add some value to it. And then also in that same group with those 4 was this, which is another record. Let's see how they got this thing packaged in here. Well, they got all kinds of tape and plastics, which is good. You know, that it's very good. It's going to be protected well. I just can't figure out how to get it out of here. All right, looks like there we go. So we'll get that out of the way, and then get this out of the way. And this one is actually not signed by Neal Adams, but it's still sealed. It has the corner cut on it, and there was a reason they did that. I don't know why. If you happen to know why, leave a comment, let me know. I know I've seen that in the past on records where the corner of the record album was cut, and I believe it has some kind of, there's a purpose for it. Like I said, I don't know what that purpose is. I think I remember maybe as a kid hearing they did that. But yeah, we'll get past this and you can see that this is actually still sealed in the original plastic that it came in. Excellent condition. Again, not signed, but he would have had to sign on the plastic, so you would have lost his signature when you took it out of the plastic. But really cool. You know, I just think these are awesome. They're not that common to find. And having that 4 of them were signed by Neal Adams just makes it even better. And he did the artwork on all these. I think he also did the artwork on this one here. It's like I said, it's just not signed. So those are really cool. That was the thing I was the most excited about in this lot. But there are also lots of other goodies in here too. So you got one big box there and one little bag here. So we'll go through this little bag. I can tell by looking at the front of it what it is. This is actually was the most expensive thing in this lot, and it wasn't as much as you would think. But it cost more than any one of the other items. This was about, actually this was about half of the total cost of all these auctions was this lot right here. And as always, in every video, we're always gonna have X-Men stuff. But this is actually pretty good X-Men stuff. Not that it's, I mean, it's all good, right? It's the X-Men, it's all good. But what we have here is X-Men 244 and X-Men 244, first Jubilee. And then after that is an X-Men 244 and another X-Men 244 and another one and another one and another one and 2 more. 9 issues of X-Men 244, all very fine near mint copies. I'll look through these all in detail. Looking at the pictures up close, I'm gonna guess 6 or 7 of these are definitely 9/8 candidates. And you know, a 9/8 book of this going for like $200 right now, I think 175. So I'll look at them. If they're all direct, so they're a little more affordable than the newsstand, but 9 of them's pretty good. I have a 9/8 version of this, so anything I get 9/8 I'm going to put up for sale. But it was hard for me to pass, especially being an X-Men guy. It's hard for me to pass up on 9 issues of that book. And like I said, the price was definitely right. I was again surprised how good it went, how low it went. And believe me, I say this a lot, like, oh, I got a great deal, I got a great deal. I did get a great deal. I got well under fair market value for what I can get out of them. But I don't win every single auction I get into. It sounds like I do, because it's like, oh, I got another one. I got a great deal on this one. I got a great deal on that one. I lose hundreds of auctions, and I win 2 or 3 here or there. So I don't want you to think that I'm just constantly hitting it every time out of the park. That's not reality. A lot of times I don't get what I bid on, and that's okay too. So we'll start with this short box. I don't remember what this was. Oh yeah, now I do. Ugh. So packaging kind of sucked on this one, which is surprising. All right, so I went through this and pulled a bunch of the main books out that are, you know, worth talking about. This is all Batman stuff from like the 90s and 2000s. So first thing we're going to talk about is the first book, 608. That is the first Hush. And then 609 is the first appearance of Tommy Elliott, who is the main kind of guy that becomes Hush. I don't want to ruin it if you haven't read the book, but Tommy Elliott's first appearance here, one of Batman's old friends. Then it's got 610 and 611. It doesn't have 612, which is the cool Superman Batman cover. And then 13 and 14, it's the full run minus that book. So 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 19 is the first appearance of the Hush Tommy Elliott. And there's 3 different covers of that in this. So there's the reddish color background, the greenish color background, and then the Joker background. And then 620. So that's the first book, I think, after Hush is over. The next group of books are all like mostly Damian Wayne-esque books. The first one, and the bag's all tore up, but this is issue 635. So this is the first appearance as Jason Todd as the Red Hood. And then 638, I have, looks like there's 4 copies of 638. This is when Red Hood is revealed to be Jason Todd. There is a variant cover of this, but these look like all the standard covers. So again, 4 of them, and I paid less for this than I did all 9 of those X-Men 244. So if you're a Batman fan and you know anything about these books, like these are good books to have. The next book up, 655. This is the first cameo of Damian Wayne. So pretty good copy. These are all near mint copy books. So that was 655, and then 656 is the first full appearance of Damian Wayne in the final panel, or I guess the first cited as the first appearance. And then I love this cover. I just think it's a cool cover. Kubert, I think, did it. 666. So this book is important because it's the first time you see Damian as like an adult or a grown up. So this is set like 15 years after he's born. So he's like a 15-year-old kid in this, or a teenager. There's a bunch of other random cameos in this, but it's also cool that the 666 cover they did with the flames and stuff. I always thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, solid run. And again, this is all Batman books and detective books as well. These were just kind of the major books. There's a lot of minor stuff in here. It's basically from 608, and we went through a lot of these to about 670. And then there's a good run of detective comics from that same time window. So, you know, I'll go through these, probably end up having some of them graded. Some of them I'll be whole fillers for my collection. Some of them will go up for sale. It's just going to depend on, you know, how they look, what the grades are, what I think. So really good box of Batman stuff. And again, you know, the price was fantastic. And then the last lot here we'll go through. This should be pretty short. I'm horrible. The problem with Heritage is sometimes it's a couple weeks before you get stuff. And I look at the auctions every week. So I probably looked at these auctions the first time for these books like 6 weeks ago. And then I probably bid on them 3 or 4 weeks ago. And then I won them 2 weeks ago. And then they shipped them, you know, a couple days ago. So it does take my mind out of like, what did I get? What was coming? I did remember this had the records in it because I was like super excited to get those records. But I couldn't remember what else was in there. I remember the Batman. I'm actually trying to see what this is. Okay. So this one was really cheap. Like less than $20 cheap because it's nothing major. But we'll just go through it. So you got Guardians of the Galaxy 1. This isn't the first original Guardians of the Galaxy, but it's kind of the rewrite, and this was kind of more in line with the TV team. Then we got Infinity Gauntlet 1. This book was really high during the Infinity Saga. It came back down, but still not a bad book. This book's probably about the same value as what I paid for the whole lot. I love this cover. I love this book just because it's the silliest thing ever. But the Punisher meets Archie, you know, because in what world wouldn't those two people hang out? It's also a die cut cover. It's actually, I'll take it out and let you see it. I also love the letterbox, but if you open it up, you know, it's a die cut. But then that's what's in the corner box is that Punisher logo, which is just fantastic. The Archie Punisher logo. You know, Archie's one of those really niche characters that a lot of people love and a lot of people just don't get it. So we got Darkhawk #1. This is kind of my childhood. That spiked up a while back too. During COVID, I think this thing was a ridiculous thing. It's going for a couple $100. There's probably 2 million of these. So I was kind of surprised. A low grade Deadpool #1 Circle Chase. It's not a low grade. It's probably, well, yeah, it's probably a 5.0, 5.5. It's got a lot of dents. It's got a cardstock cover and it's embossed, so not much pressing or anything you can do. Then you got Deadpool 1. This is, I think, the second Deadpool series. Sunfire and Big Hero 6. So that's a cool one, right? I always love this Jim Starlin cover, Thanos Quest. So book 1, book 2. The Thunderbolts #1, you know, probably was a little more valuable right before the movie came out, but I bought it for a lot of the other stuff. Can't never have too many of this book in high grade. So Venom Lethal Protector. This is a high grade book, probably a 9.8 candidate. And then the last book is Venom Center Takes All #3. And this is the first full appearance of She-Venom. I think her name was like Anne Wine or Winnie something like that. I'd have to look it up. If you know, leave a comment. Let me know what it was. But again, this was the reason I bought this, was these two books. I paid less than $20 for the whole lot. I mean, these two books, well worth more than $20. So, yeah, so that's it, guys. This was a lot of stuff. Again, I would love to go through all of these Batman books, but it would take us 2 hours, and I don't know what the key or what the information is in every book, because my Batman knowledge isn't nearly as good as my X-Men knowledge. But I appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully this was enjoyable. Hope you're enjoying the content I'm putting out. I'm trying to be consistent. You know, when you watch this, it should be later today, I'll be doing a cleaning video. So if you're around, come check out, come hang out and clean with me. We'll be cleaning on Sunday, 1 o'clock. And have a great one. I hope you guys are doing well and life is good and you're getting all the comic books you love. We'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for tuning into my little show where comics shine.